Hello and welcome to the Philippines. The Easter holiday is about a 4-day holiday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here in the Philippines. Tens of thousands of Filipinos going back to the provinces to celebrate with their families. Tens of thousands of Filipinos going to beaches, different events, different areas. Anyway, a friend of mine invited me along. He rented a bus to take employees and friends up to Liloan, north of Cebu City. Liloan, a city still in the metropolitan area of the Cebu City metropolitan area. I think it took us about an hour. This was Thursday, and most of the stores, the malls, are closed Thursdays and Fridays for the holiday, and then they open back up. Usually, many of them do on Saturday and Sunday. Interestingly enough, the Christmas holidays, they remain open, big shopping days. Lots of people at the market along the street here. This may have still been in Mandawi, or it may have been in Consolacion, pronounce that properly. Anyway, we ended up traveling a little farther than we had to, and we missed our turnoff. And somebody had data on their phone, and they pulled up the place on Google Maps, I guess. Directed us back. Those aren't always accurate, but it was in this case. Got us back to where we needed to be. The narrow little road we had to turn down to get to this place was kind of surprising, and that's what you'll find in many areas. Once you get off the main road, things get narrow. Transportation gets a little bit different. There's a taxi there, and we ended up finding a taxi to get out of there. We didn't wait around the whole time. We left a little earlier than the whole crew on the bus. I think we had about 15 people on the bus, and bus driver, they waited for us, waited for the rest of the crew. We left a little bit early. Big feast they put on with lechon, and I'll show you that in the following video. Magnificent amount of food, fish and chicken and lechon, and sometimes each of these little off roads, you just never know where you're going to end up going down them. But it's interesting. It's like, you're still in the metropolitan area, but it's like you're out in the country once you just get out of the big city just a little ways, get off the main road. I actually had 3 different options. Me and my partner were talking about taking a trip someplace, and then we were invited by 2 different friends to go in 2 different directions. This guy invited us first, and we kind of committed to that before we were invited to go over to take a trip over to the west side, El Turas, I think, area over on the west side of Cebu Island. This resort we went to, Pangeas Beach Resort, that we went to, had a day rate 150 pesos, about $3 per person, to get in and use the beach, the facilities, the pools. They had a nice pool there, and I'll give you a quick look at that. Roads get a little narrow back in here, and this was a question. Some people said, no, we need to turn right here, and I said, no. Looking at the online map, I said, we need to go straight. So there was a little bit of discussion, and I was accurate as always, or most of the time anyway. And depending upon that, that data on the maps can get you in trouble sometimes if it's not accurate. Can make for a very interesting side trip, that's for sure. And of course, you can always stop and ask the locals. They usually know. Now, this is a wide road compared to what we're going to get on here in a little bit. very interesting. There were a lot of people on the, you can't see it because of the bus, on the right side, a lot of people walking, riding bicycles over there. And so the bus is taking the middle half of the road much of the way. And of course the motorbikes are smart enough to give way, move over. But I love these trips out of the city and back into the province type areas, back to the Filipino areas, somewhat rural areas, I guess. I can certainly understand why many of you want to live out in the province, out in the country, out of the big city. Lots of advantages or some disadvantages, but you adapt. As we were leaving, I wanted to walk a long ways, and we did walk a ways leaving. That'll be maybe a third video about this trip, and had some really interesting encounters with people and animals walking out of here. And anyway, there just happened to be a taxi who had dropped somebody off back in here, and he came by. And I would have preferred to walk all the way out to the main road, but we ended up jumping in the taxi instead. And, Filipinos tend to do things as groups, and it's very common for companies, small and large, to take their employees and their families out to a beach. Sometimes they call it team building. Instead of giving bonuses, those types of things, they bring them out as a group out to a beach, and they have a lot of fun for a day. And that's what this is basically. My friend's partner has a number of employees, and these are all people who live together, work together in a couple sari stores, as well as a bakery. As I've said in my, getting there is half the fun. I always, the journey, for me, the journey is a big part of the fun. I know people who just want to get to their destination and enjoy the time there, but for me, the journey and the experiences along the way is a big part of the excitement, the reward. And here's the narrow little road we go down. We waited for a little bit. Somebody assured us that we could indeed take a bus down this road. A little tight, but anyway, my friend was nice enough to invite us along, and it was a very enjoyable day, relaxing. And I have taken a bus and ferries all the way from Cebu City across to Bacolod and over to Iloilo City, because I love the journey, seeing what's between me and there, the destination. And I did it in the U.S. too. I traveled a lot by car, traveled big territories many different times, many different careers. And instead of taking planes, I would usually drive my car. And there's so much to see, people to meet along the way. And you'll be surprised to see what you find back at the end of some of these dead-end roads. Quite a very interesting, very well done resort back in here. Pangeas Beach Resort. And I'll do another video. Try to keep these, most of my videos right around 10 minutes. That helps me with the algorithms, and that's, some people like shorter videos, some people like longer videos. Kind of hits a middle spot there. Lots of room is available back here. Up to 12 people in a room. I think 1,000 pesos per person there. In my next video, in a day or two, I will show you around that resort, a little bit about what's available there, show you some of the rooms, and the beach area. It's not white sand beach. Most of the people are using the pool, although there were a number of people out. It was low tide when we arrived, and later in the day the tide was coming in and more people were out in the water. A number of fishermen out there searching for urchins and whatever else they find out there. And here we're coming up to the gate, and just amazing how much work was done in the construction of this place. Really quite interesting, and I'll show that in the next video. The seating areas, they've got a grill or two or three. Very well, very nicely done. I think this was 150 pesos per head, and we had right around 15 people, I believe, brought a lot of our food with us. I think they bought the lechon locally for 5,000 to 6,000 pesos, and cooked up a lot of their food ahead of time, brought it along on the bus. Anyway, nice pool area, and then just down below you can see the sea out past there, almost like you can swim right out into the sea. And nice relaxing area. Anyway, I'll do one or two more videos about that area, give you a little look around, some pricing. Thanks for coming along. Stay safe, stay healthy. Happy holidays if you're celebrating these Easter holidays, and I'll see you next time.